the money at? Where the money at? Tell me, where the money at? What's going on, people? This your boy Brandon Brevon Towns, host of that show called Sports Plus Life. How's everybody doing today? All right, come on now, cut it off right now. All right. How is everybody doing? I will repeat myself again. I am the host, Brandon Brevon Towns, and this is Sports Plus Life, that podcast about sports and a whole bunch of other stuff. You know, if this is your first time listening, definitely hit that subscribe button. But how is everybody doing? It is Saturday, January 12th, 2019. And here in Richmond, Virginia, we are supposed to be getting dumped on by a bunch of snow today. So I'm just waiting, you know, because wouldn't have mind going to work today, actually. But I don't know how this weather's supposed to look. But again, I hope everybody is doing fine, doing wonderful, doing marvelous, doing fantastic. You know, I'm just sitting here watching a little college basketball while I do this sports podcast. I'm watching Louisville versus North Carolina. UVA is trying to make me mad because they're having one of their ugly offensive games. They're at Clemson right now. The Cavs are still undefeated. They're 14-0 at this point in time. But anyway, how was everybody's Friday? Mine was pretty chill. For the most part. Actually, finished doing a song. I was going to lead off the show with it, but I won't. If you go to my SoundCloud page, Brevon, on SoundCloud.com, you can see it. It's called Swag On It There Part 3. It is the third installment of that particular song. It is featuring me and my cousin Young Vino. And we do that track. Usually it's three people get on the song. Usually always my brother Sean Dante is usually on the second verse, but I just took it. I just did it. I did it myself this time. Dedicated that second verse to my boy, and you guys be the judge. You guys be the judge of it. So anyway, we got a lot going on today. It is Divisional Saturday, 2 games on today. So I'm definitely going to touch on those 2 football games for the most part. I'll talk a little NBA, as well as get into a little bit of the big fight next Saturday night in Vegas. Fight night. You know, if y'all know me, nothing excites me more than a huge anticipated fight. But without further ado, let's get to it! All right. Now, okay, we'll dive right into it. The divisional playoff game today, the divisional playoff game between the first one at 4:35 between the Indianapolis Colts and the Kansas City Chiefs, and then the second one tonight at 8:30 between the Dallas Cowboys and the Los Angeles Rams. I will go into the early game first. I said it on Monday. This is the Colts, the number 6 seed, playing the number 1 seed, Kansas City Chiefs. The Chiefs were the highest powered offense all season. Most points scored, most yards gained. And once I finish with the divisional topics, I'm going to get into who I think is the MVP for the season. Most people think that Patrick Mahomes from the Chiefs, the quarterback of the Kansas City Chiefs, will be the MVP. And but today, I'm going to tell you, I've been saying it since the start of this show. With the Kansas City Chiefs, I have to see it to believe it. Because as explosive and as awesome as their offense has been, once Kareem Hunt got himself in trouble and got himself exiled from the team, everything became that much more difficult for them. And 2, their defense ain't shit. It ain't. To put it quite frank and put it blunt, their defense stinks. It sucks.
You suck.
And right now they're playing the hottest team in football. and maybe the most complete team in football right now, at least one of the most complete teams in football on all levels, on all aspects. The Indianapolis Colts are red hot. They've won 10 of 11, 10 of their last 11 games, including beating the Houston Texans last weekend on Wild Card Weekend in Houston. And I'm going to tell you, man, I'm going to tell you right now, I am predicting that the Indianapolis Colts will go into Arrowhead Stadium and will knock off the Kansas City Chiefs. And as far as the Chiefs are concerned, it's just business as usual because they don't win at home in the playoffs. Now everybody on all these talking shows, now everybody wants to say something that I pointed out for the last 2 months, is that the Kansas City Chiefs have not won a home playoff game since Joe Montana was their quarterback. 1993. I don't give a damn how many people are going to say, well, this is a new regime. Not really, because Andy Reid is still your coach. He's been there for 2 of them. And, well, they didn't have Patrick Mahomes. And I'm going to say this again. Now, I still haven't heard anybody do this, so I do think I'm still by myself on this. I have constantly compared this season's Kansas City Chiefs to the 2003 version of the Kansas City Chiefs. The 2018 Kansas City Chiefs, this year's Chiefs, technically, went 12-4, had an awesome offense, home field throughout the AFC playoffs. The 2003 Kansas City Chiefs, awesome offense, 13-3 record, second seed, but did get a bye week in the AFC playoffs. Both teams were stacked offensively. You know, Patrick Mahomes, MVP candidate for this year's team. For the 2003 team, Trent Green, who was no Patrick Mahomes by no means, but he had if you look up his numbers that season, they were absolutely magnificent. The 2003 team, coached by Dick Vermeil, who won a Super Bowl with Kurt Warner and the greatest show on turf with the Rams. Kurt Warner, Marshall Faulk, Isaac Bruce, Torrey Holt, and that crew. At the beginning, for the majority of the season, the Chiefs had an elite running back, Kareem Hunt. That 03 team had Priest Holmes. And we all remember, if you're a sports head, you remember how much of a bad motherfucker Priest Holmes was. And this year's team has Tyreek Hill. Like I said, my true sports heads remember a guy named Dante Hall. Very similar build, just as quick and electrifying. This year's team has Travis Kelce. The Chiefs had the 03 team had Hall of Famer Tony Gonzalez. And what was the one thing that both of these teams had in common? Their defense was awful. And this is what's so funny. This is how funny deja vu is. In the 2003 season, when the Kansas City Chiefs had a bye, first playoff game in the divisional round at home, who came in and lit them up and beat them? It was the Indianapolis Colts and Peyton Manning. In 1995, when this awful losing streak started at home in the playoffs for the Kansas City Chiefs, who was the team that came in and beat them when they had the best record in football that year? It was the Indianapolis Colts. I am not making this up. It was Jim Harbaugh and the Indianapolis Colts, when Harbaugh was a quarterback, that came in and knocked the Chiefs off. And you know who's going to knock the Chiefs off today in their first playoff game at home? At Arrowhead, the Indianapolis Colts with Andrew Luck. Damn it, I'm good. Damn it, I am good. I am telling y'all what I know. The Colts are going to win this game. Now, like I said, the Chiefs have been awesome on offense, but their defense stinks. Their defense couldn't stop a faucet of running water. Their defense sucks. You suck. Straight up, it sucks. Now, okay, they led the National Football League in sacks. The problem with that is you're going up against arguably the best offensive line in football in the Indianapolis Colts. Those guys are mean, and they protect their quarterback. J.J. Watt and Jadeveon Clowney and Merciless could not touch Andrew Luck last week. And with that being said, Marlon Mack is going to have a field day. And then you're going to end up having to stack against the run, which is going to leave T.Y. Hilton in one-on-one coverage, Eric Ebron one-on-one coverage, Dontrell Inman one-on-one coverage, Chester Rogers one-on-one coverage. Or Andrew Luck, who's mobile. He's not a statue. He is not a statue. He can move when need be. He definitely can. Now, I know. Now, the Chiefs are going to put up points. Patrick Mahomes, he's the truth. He's for real. He's the truth. MVP candidate, deserves to be. And their weapons, Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce, they're going to have to get some help running the ball. Damian Williams, I would put the ball in his hand a lot, maybe Spencer Ware, but it just hasn't been the same since Kareem Hunt hasn't been there. It just has not been the same. Now, but like I said, they're going to put up points. But I trust the Colts defense to hold the Chiefs to 3 more than I do the Chiefs defense to hold the Colts to 3. I don't trust the Chiefs defense at all. If they get, maybe the Chiefs can get 2 stops during the day, most. 2 stops. And I have the Colts getting at least 3. It's going to be a close game. It's going to be a very close game. I think it'll be a high-scoring game. Look, I don't predict scores because football is too unpredictable on the field. So I'm not going to say the Colts are going to win by a score of. I'm not going to do that. All I'm going to say is the Colts are going to win. I think the Colts are going to win a 1-possession game. That's it. I think it'll be a 1-possession game. They could win by 3. They could win by 4. They could win by 7. They could win by 8. But I don't know. I just think the Colts will win a 1-possession game. And I think they will head on to the AFC Championship game. Now, the second game of today's playoff action is the Dallas Cowboys at the Los Angeles Rams. Now, let me tell you guys something. I am so sick and damn tired of hearing all of these Cowboy fans talk about, yeah, how about them Cowboys? And we gonna go to LA and they ain't gonna be able to stop Zeke and all of that sob-sucking shit. I am so sick and tired of hearing about it, little punk-ass Cowboy fans sticking their chest out. And like I said on Monday, this is not me hating when I say that the Rams are going to win. So let me get my prediction off the bat. The Rams are going to win. And I think the Rams are going to win by a lot. And I'm not saying this because I hate the Cowboys. I called them to lose last week because I didn't think Russell Wilson would be outplayed by Dak Prescott. I was wrong. So be it. But this is a bad matchup for the Dallas Cowboys. I don't care if they train in L.A., and the majority of the fans in L.A. is going to be, they will be rooting for the Cowboys. That's why I said about the Chargers and the Rams. In Southern California, you ain't having no home field advantage, man. You ain't having no home field advantage in a place where people love to go for vacation, and you already have a fan base there because they train there during the offseason, or they have their training camp there. But still, they ain't got nothing to do with on the field. And the fact of the matter is that the Rams have too many weapons. Todd Gurley has gotten 3 weeks to rest. They're saying he's been out the last 2 weeks. No, he's been out the last 3. He missed the last 2 games and had a bye week. And even if you need to spell Todd Gurley, you got C.J. Anderson. You see what he's done since he joined the Los Angeles Rams in relief of Todd Gurley. He's been toting that rock like the Super Bowl champion that he is with the Denver Broncos. He has been toting that rock. And, of course, they're saying all the pressure's on Jared Goff. Well, of course the pressure's on Jared Goff because you're 13-3. You were the number 1 pick in the draft. You have home field advantage for this game. And you lost last year when you had home field advantage for the wild card round to the Atlanta Falcons. Okay, and people will excuse that because the Falcons were the defending NFC champions at the time. And it was, Jared Goff and Sean McVay and Gurley. All of that. That was their first go-round. So you can excuse that. That's excusable. This time it ain't. And you go up against a chest-pumping, boasting, shit-talking fan base team like the Dallas Cowboys, and they're coming in your house. You have to handle your damn business. And Dallas has a very formidable defense. But again, Todd Gurley, C.J. Anderson, too many weapons on the outside. Cooks, Robert Woods, Josh Reynolds, Higbee, Everett. Too many weapons. The better matchup for the Cowboys, and I've been saying it, would have been a rematch with the Saints. People like to not think that because it would be in New Orleans, and oh my God, New Orleans. The better matchup for the Dallas Cowboys would be the New Orleans Saints. Because for one, okay, Ezekiel Elliott. You know, they're saying that the Rams have had problems all year stopping the run, which is true. I think the Rams' weakness on defense is their linebacking core. But the Rams' defense has gotten healthy. Their front four will bring it. Fowler will bring it. Sue will bring it. And we all know about Aaron Donald. I believe that they'll be able to neutralize Ezekiel Elliott enough. And I'll tell you why. Because in this Wade Phillips defense, the most important thing in a Wade Phillips defense is the ability to have cover cornerbacks. To have cornerbacks that can go one-on-one and can lock you down. And the fact that Aqib Talib is back, and he'll be matched up with Amari Cooper, which is nothing familiar because the last 4 years, Talib has been in Denver and Amari Cooper has been in Oakland. So there's not a lack of familiarity there. They know each other, and Aqib Talib has done very well on Amari Cooper. So Marcus Peters can go back to Roman and being the gambler that he is on cornerback. That's fine. You still got Sam Shields as your slot corner. And then you have LaMarcus Joyner and John Johnson. Their secondary, the Rams secondary, is better than the Dallas Cowboy receiving core, which means they can just pin their ears back and come right at Dak Prescott, who has shown all season he's had a problem with taking care of the football. That's how a Wade Phillips defense operates. Why do you think it was such a ass whipping when he was the defensive coordinator for the Broncos against the Carolina Panthers, who came in having the best offense in that game? But the fact that our secondary was better than Carolina's receivers. They were locked down, and all Von Miller and DeMarcus Ware and Malik Jackson and Derek Wolfe had to do was pin their ears back and go get him. And that's exactly what happened. And that's exactly what's going to happen today in Los Angeles. That secondary is going to lock Dallas's average receiving core up. I mean, Amari Cooper is above average. Yes, he is. Everybody else in that receiving core is average at best. And Amari Cooper, who's an above average receiver, is going up against a top 5 cornerback in Aqib Talib. Now, Amari Cooper's above average receiver, but he sure as hell ain't no top 5 receiver. I'm going to tell you that right now. I don't give a damn what you Cowboy fans say. He ain't. He is not. And I believe they'll be able to neutralize Ezekiel Elliott enough because Aaron Donald is coming, man. Aaron Donald is coming. I'm going to tell you right now, if the Rams hop out to a 14-0 or a 10-0 lead, 14-0 lead, it's over. It's over. It'll be a wrap. I know Dallas is going to try to grind it out and make it ugly and ball control. You'll see. You will see exactly what I'm saying. You will see it 8:30 on Fox. All you punk-ass, bitch-ass Cowboy fans who's walking around with your chest tugged out, this is fitting to be funny. This is fitting to be hilarious. Remember what I said about that plane? That Cowboy plane. That bitch is running out of gas and it's about to crash in Southern California. I'm going to tell you that right now. So that is today's games. Tomorrow's games, the early game is the Chargers versus the New England Patriots. I'm going to say this. And remember what I said last week. I said it's a possibility that Los Angeles could host both the AFC and NFC championship game. And all of the results from last week said it could happen. I have the Los Angeles Chargers going into Foxborough where it's supposed to be brick out there. It's supposed to be like 20 degrees. And I've heard I'm not betting against Tom Brady and Tom Brady in the divisional round and he's da-da-da-da-da. Now I'm going to tell you something. The Chargers are a better team. They're a better team, and this is another case where, while the Chargers don't run the Wade Phillips style defense, but it's another case of where their secondary is better than New England's receiving core. And they have a fearsome front seven with Bosa and Ingram. And they're going to come after Tom Brady. He's going to get happy feet. This is going to be a grinded out game. The Patriots, of course, they'll try to establish the run with Sony Michel and James White. And Tom will have his moments, but I don't see it. This is Phillip Rivers' best shot. And it's not like Phillip Rivers doesn't have any weapons. He's got Melvin Gordon, Mike and Tyrell Williams, Keenan Allen, of course. They're getting Hunter Henry back. I thought he was supposed to come back last week, but he didn't. But he will be activated for this game. Of course, Antonio Gates, the bowling ball himself. You have Travis Benjamin as well. It's another, and this hasn't been the best Belichick coach defense. Too many weapons. Even in the cold. Even in Foxborough. I don't think the Chargers are scared. The Chargers, they play better on the road. They only lost one road game this season. That was a road game to the Rams, quote unquote, technically. And they have not lost outside of Southern California. Like I said, I don't give a damn if it's Foxborough in January. This is Phillip Rivers' best shot. And I think what you may see is the beginning of the end of a dynasty. And maybe we already watched the beginning of the end of a dynasty last year with the Super Bowl loss to the Philadelphia Eagles. But this hasn't been that great season for the Patriots. They finished 11-5, got damn lucky to get a second seed. And I think they get knocked off. I think they are getting knocked off. I think this will be the first time since 2010 that you will not see the New England Patriots in the AFC Championship game. And if that happens, thank God. Thank you, Jesus. Me, like the rest of the world outside of Foxborough, Massachusetts, are pretty damn sick and tired of them. They're pretty sick and tired. The whole NFL world outside of Foxborough, Massachusetts, and maybe the headquarters in New York, because they'll worry about ratings. Because a sexy pick for AFC Championship game damn sure ain't the Chargers versus the Colts. I think only those two venues will be rooting for New England. The rest of the football world has got their Los Angeles Charger pom-poms on. Go Chargers, go! That is, I truly believe that the rest of the NFL world is rooting intently for the LA Chargers to knock off the New England Patriots. Trust me when I tell you, anybody outside of Massachusetts and the NFL headquarters in New York, who is rooting for the Patriots to win, they are in the serious minority. Mostly everybody's rooting for the Chargers. This I promise you. So then, the late game tomorrow will be at the Mercedes-Benz Dome in New Orleans, where the reigning, defending, Super Bowl champion Philadelphia Eagles will go into New Orleans to take on the number 1 seeded Saints. And it's been a little bit of shit talking this week going on from them motherfuckers. It's been a little bit of selling wolf tickets. Jason Peters said that they ran up the score last time, because remind you, in November when the Eagles went to New Orleans, when Carson Wentz was the quarterback, they got destroyed 48-7. And me, I don't want to hear nothing about running up the score, because I'm of the mindset, if you don't want them to score, then fucking stop them from scoring. It's really that simple. But do I think that the score will be 48-7? No. This is so hard for me, because while the Eagles just have this thing with Nick Foles, he just keeps winning, they are a 10 times more confident team, particularly on the defensive side of the ball. It is hard. Drew Brees is undefeated in New Orleans in the playoffs, him and Sean Payton. It is so hard, because you still have to, as well as the defense has been playing, you still have to deal with Alvin Kamara and Mark Ingram and, of course, Michael Thomas. And they got Ted Ginn Jr. back to take the top off of the defense. So this is going to be tough. I'm going to tell you right now, I said it, if the Philadelphia Eagles pull this shit off, if Nick Foles can pull this shit off, you have a quarterback controversy in Philadelphia. And I'm going to tell you this. I'm not sitting here. I wouldn't tell the Eagles to trade Carson Wentz. I wouldn't do that because I do think Carson Wentz is the future. But he has an injury problem. And it's reared its ugly head the last 2 seasons. Is no way in hell that I'm letting Nick Foles go. No way. Because, I don't know, some quarterbacks just play good with a certain team. Remember a quarterback by the name of Matt Flynn? You know, he was the backup quarterback in Green Bay for a number of years, and a couple of times when Aaron Rodgers got hurt, even the year that the Packers won the Super Bowl in 2010, Aaron Rodgers missed some time, and Matt Flynn came in and played well. He played well. He got people's attention. Aaron Rodgers comes back. Of course, they go on and win the Super Bowl. Matt Flynn then gets he gets signed by Oakland. I think he goes to Oakland the next season. And he gets signed and is named as the starter. He doesn't even see the field. He ends up not even seeing the field because he played that bad for Oakland. And then they tried it with Seattle. You know, he was signed on to be the guy in Seattle. I remember this. This was 2012 because they had also signed T.O. They had signed T.O., and unfortunately T.O. didn't make it out of preseason. But Matt Flynn was supposed to be the guy. He was supposed to be the franchise quarterback, you know, based on, you know, his play with Green Bay when Aaron Rodgers went down. And he didn't even make it to be the opening day starter because of a rookie that came out in that draft named Russell Wilson. And then he went back to Green Bay to back up Aaron Rodgers. And he was playing well again when he had to come in relief of Aaron Rodgers. If Aaron Rodgers got hurt for any reason, he came in and he played well. And the point I'm trying to make is with Nick Foles, he was Michael Vick's backup, you know, and then came in 2013 when Chip Kelly was the coach and had 27 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. Led them to the playoffs, damn near beat the New Orleans Saints, you know, coincidentally. But Drew Brees led a game-winning drive for a walk-off field goal to win, but he played well. The next season under Chip Kelly, he played well. The Eagles won 10 games. He played well. Then he got a big contract to go to the Rams. He stunk. He was terrible. Of course, Jeff Fisher was coaching that team, but be that as it may, he was terrible. And then went to Kansas City, you know, because I believe he was drafted by Andy Reid, if I'm not mistaken. He was drafted by Andy Reid, so Andy Reid picked him up in Kansas City. But he didn't see the field because by that time they had Alex Smith. And when the brief times he saw the field, you know, he wasn't any good. Everybody had totally forgotten about Nick Foles. Around 2016, Nick Foles was an afterthought in everybody's mind. But then Nick Foles comes back to Philly, like I was doing a comparison with Matt Flynn. Some people just play good in certain spots. It happens. And it's not just quarterbacks. I remember, and I'm going way back, true sports heads know what I'm talking about. Desmond Howard. When he was a member of Green Bay, he was a return specialist, Pro Bowler, won a Super Bowl MVP for returning kicks and punts. Got a big contract by the Raiders and stunk. Was damn near never heard of until he came back to Green Bay and became a good player again. I don't know. So, I mean, some people just need to stay where the hell they at. They're just comfortable there. And how could you not feel comfortable with the best relief pitcher in football? I'm not saying get rid of Carson Wentz, but again, if Nick Foles goes into New Orleans and pulls this shit off, then you officially have a quarterback controversy. And I am going to root with my heart again. Logic says New Orleans, but I'm taking the Eagles. Another reason why I'm taking the Eagles is because that will make my prediction correct. If all of my predictions are right, then Los Angeles will be hosting the AFC and the NFC championship game. I'm telling you, now who would have seen that one coming? Who would have seen that one coming? The football capital of the world would be Southern California. The football capital of the world will be Southern California next week. Logic says New Orleans. My heart says Philly. I'm going with my heart. I think the Eagles have a huge chip on their shoulder. I don't think the Saints are going to come in overconfident because they still have what happened to them last year with that miracle in Minnesota, that they're trying to get over. So the Saints are going to come in with some purpose. And they're going to come right in there and they're going to hit Philly right in the jaw. Philly has to withstand the early barrage. I'm telling you, this game is going to be close, just like the Bears game. It's going to be close, and I think Nick Foles is going to steal it at the end. I do. I really, really do. So my predictions, again, just to clarify. Today, I'm calling Colts over Chiefs and Rams over Cowboys. Tomorrow, I'm calling Chargers over Patriots. And I'm calling Eagles over Saints. Only home team I got winning this weekend is the Rams. That's it. That is it. So, now that I've done that, I would like to just quickly go over the MVP conversation because, what I've been hearing, everybody's pretty much saying unanimously that Patrick Mahomes is going to win MVP. And honestly, I don't think so. I mean, they could be right. I mean, I don't work for no networks, I don't work for no networks or anything like that. I don't have no, inside edition. I don't have any reliable sources or anything like that. To me, it's just the eyeball test. Now, the eyeball test, and as far as record-wise, I mean, Patrick Mahomes was fantastic this year, but I think he lost the MVP. I thought he lost the MVP the last month of the season when the Chiefs started to stumble. I do. I just think he lost it. And Drew Brees has been consistent all season. They went through a stretch where their offense wasn't that hot, but they were, with Drew Brees on the field, the Saints were 13-2. Of course, because they didn't play the last game against Carolina. The Saints were 13-2. Drew Brees, his numbers, his completion percentage has been off the charts. His numbers have been insane. And like I said, to me, Drew Brees, and I said this once this show first started, I think Drew Brees is going to get it because to me it'll be more like a Lifetime Achievement Award because Drew Brees has been brilliant for years. Drew Brees has been brilliant for over a decade. He has been absolutely phenomenal and has never won a league MVP. He's got a Super Bowl MVP, which to me is more important. But we always talk about, the top tier quarterbacks, Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, Drew Brees. Well, Brady and Rodgers have their share of MVPs. Drew Brees has never won one. So I really think this is going to be an MVP of sentiment. And plus the fact that his team has the best record in football. His team has the best record in football. I mean, you look at I have to look at. I know Patrick Mahomes' numbers are great, but I'm gonna also look at who he's lost to. Okay, you lost to Tom Brady, you lost to Jared Goff, you lost to Phillip Rivers. You know what I'm saying? That stuff matters. When the lights were the brightest against the elite competition in the NFL. The Kansas City Chiefs came up short, and I really think that should be looked at and duly noted. The only one game you can really say that Drew Brees came up short in was that game against Dallas the week after Thanksgiving. Other than that, he's shown up every game. Now, some games, numbers-wise, weren't spectacular as others because there were a couple of games where they just really didn't need to throw the ball like that. The defense was playing good, and they were running the ball great. So don't force it if you don't have to. So that's why I think Drew Brees will win MVP. I'm going to be honest with you. The person who I think should win MVP, and this will never happen because this is an offensive league, is Aaron Donald. I think Aaron Donald should win MVP. I really do. That dude is the most disruptive force in defense. He really is. Louisville is beating the shiznit out of North Carolina. I mean, good Lord. Goodness gracious. So I just wanted to quickly touch on that. I think that most people are saying Patrick Mahomes is going to win the MVP. I don't think so. I think it's going to be Drew Brees. I really don't. And like I said, and based on what I just said, I think Patrick Mahomes lost the MVP the last month of the season. I think if the Chiefs finish with the same record or if they finish 14-2, then it's a landslide. Patrick Mahomes wins MVP. But the fact that they didn't, I mean, they had to wait all the way. They had to go all the way down to the final week of the season just to see if they were either going to be a division champ or a wild card. The Saints had the division part sewn up a month before the season was over. They had number one seed sewn up before the last week of the season. So who's your MVP? And to me, the Chiefs have more weapons on offense. Just the Saints have a 10 times better defense. That's for damn sure. So anyway, let me talk a little basketball right quick. You know, we're getting to that midseason point in the NBA where you have some surprises, particularly the way that, everything was predicted at the beginning of the season. But that's why, people who make predictions who call themselves quote-unquote experts, they're just opinion makers because they really don't know shit. They're just making opinions, and which is fine. I want to get paid to make my opinion. I sure do. But right now in the Eastern Conference, which is very intriguing. The Eastern Conference is very, very intriguing to me. You have the Toronto Raptors, 32-12. They're being led by Kawhi Leonard, and everybody is saying, well, Kawhi wants to go to L.A., this, that, and the third. If I was Kawhi, why would I leave? Why would I leave there? Why would I leave there where I can be in my little comfort zone and chill? Why would I want to leave Toronto to come join the Lakers and possibly be second fiddle to LeBron James? Have to play second fiddle to LeBron James. Why would I do that? And I've also, heard talk about him possibly wanting to go to the Clippers, about him and Kevin Durant teaming up to go to the Clippers. Well, okay, maybe, because, Kevin Durant doesn't have that I need attention on me all day, every day personality like LeBron James does. So, I mean, I could see that working, but boy, would Magic Johnson look bad if that happened. And Magic Johnson's my most favoriteest player ever. I think he's the GOAT, but he would look bad. But I think Kevin Durant was honestly on to something when he said that, playing with a star like LeBron is toxic. And I'm not saying that LeBron James himself is toxic, but it's a drama show all the time. It's a drama show all the time. And, certain players really just don't want to deal with that. I mean, it's no accident of why Kyrie Irving did not want to play with him anymore. There's no accident. And as quiet as it's been kept, I've heard things that a few of LeBron's teammates, it just gets on their nerves because it's never enough. He's a diva. He's a drama. He's a drama king or whatever. But so I don't know why I would leave Toronto if I'm Kawhi Leonard. And they could very well come out of the Eastern Conference. To me, the surprise team is the Milwaukee Bucks. They're 29-2. The Indiana Pacers, they're the number 3 seed, followed by the 76ers. The Boston Celtics have been, to me, everybody's underachieving team thus far. Because when LeBron went to the Lakers, it was pretty much almost unanimously seen that the Celtics were going to be the team to come out of the East because they're so deep. Kyrie, and then you get Gordon Hayward back from that injury. And then with Jason Tatum and Al Horford and Jaylen Brown, and even you still got Marcus Smart and Morris and Rozier, all of those guys that coming off the bench, they're seeing is so deep, and it's just like, I mean, they're 25-16, but it's just like you thought the Eastern Conference would mainly come down to Boston and Toronto, and maybe throw the 76ers in there, particularly since they got the Jimmy Butler trade. But I don't know. I mean, there's still plenty of time left. The bottom feeders of the Eastern Conference top 8 anyway. Miami, 20-20. The Brooklyn Nets are the number 7 seed, and the Charlotte Hornets are the 8th seed thus far. Still a lot of ball left to be played. In the Western Conference, the Denver Nuggets, they've held the number 1 spot for, a few weeks now. They're 28-12, but as I've said, every time I talk basketball, the Golden State Warriors, once they're fully healthy, it's over. They're the number 2 seed right now, 28-14. Klay Thompson has gotten rid of his shooting slump. Steph is back to being Steph, and KD is going to be KD. And next Friday, Boogie Cousins is going to make his debut. It's going to take a few games for, them to get used to them, the gel and actual, game action. But come playoff time, they'll be fine, and it'll be a wrap. OKC is number 3. They've kind of gone on a little slide. They've lost 3 in a row. The Portland Trail Blazers, they're number 4. The Clippers are 24-17 at the number 5 spot. This has been one of Doc Rivers' best coaching jobs. Because he doesn't have a marquee star player. His biggest quote-unquote star is Lou Williams, who's a 6th man. And the Houston Rockets have a 24-17 record. They've turned it around. James Harden has been scoring 40 damn near every game for the last 12, 13 games. And you know what? To that I say, good for you. Good for you. Good for you, because you play great in December and January. My hat's off. Because by the time the playoff comes, you're gonna hit the accelerator, and ain't gonna be no gas in the tank, even when Chris Paul comes back. And what the funny thing is that Houston went out and they got Austin Rivers in a trade. Why I find that funny is because when Austin Rivers was playing with the Clippers, one of the things that was well noted was that him and Chris Paul did not get along when they were both with the Clippers. And now Austin Rivers is on the Rockets, and eventually Chris Paul is going to come back with the Rockets. Maybe it'll be better because, his dad, Austin Rivers' dad, is not the coach, but I just found that amusing. The Spurs are getting hot. They're doing what the Spurs do. They're the 7th seed, and the 8th seed is the Los Angeles Lakers at 23-20. The Lakers, when they came into Christmas Day, they were the number 4 seed. Since LeBron has gotten hurt, they have gone 3-6. What can you say? What can you say? They just got their asses stomped by Utah last night. I don't know. I mean, it's really, what can you say? And LeBron is at least going to miss 3 more games. LeBron and Rondo is going to miss a couple of more weeks. So there'll be work to be done if the Lakers are even going to make the playoffs, because Utah is coming. Sacramento is respectable. New Orleans is coming. Dallas, they're nip and tuck, but I think them and the Timberwolves could easily make a run. And Minnesota is just funny because, I'm sorry, the dumbest thing they could have did was trade Jimmy Butler. I don't care who he ain't like on the team, because I do not see them making the playoffs. And they just fired Tom Thibodeau. What was that about? I mean, I really don't get it. You get Jimmy Butler last year, playoffs. You let him go, you ain't going to the playoffs. It's really that simple. So I just wanted to touch on some NBA. And next Saturday night, it'll be fight night in this bitch. It will be fight night. Manny Pacquiao versus Adrian Broner, WBA welterweight championship on the line. And I'm not going to go into too much detail, but Manny Pacquiao has, gone back to trainer Freddie Roach, at least for this fight. He's back at the Wild Card Gym. Looks great working out. And honestly, so does Adrian Broner, even though right before Christmas, he got locked up for, I don't know. I just don't know. Because Adrian Broner, as far as the talent goes, he's one of the most talented fighters in the business. But he's also one of the most underachieving fighters in the business. He wants to concentrate so much on being a star, being AB, being about billions, signed to Maybach and all that other shit, that he's totally forgotten about what got him to that point. And against elite competition, he has not gotten the job done. And it's really just because he gets outworked. He's a very accurate puncher. He has heart. He'll stand in there and fight you. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say he doesn't have any heart. It's like he wanted to try to be Floyd Mayweather so bad, when to me, he'll stick his nose in there and fight more than Floyd will. He's a very quick, accurate puncher, but he doesn't punch enough. And that's what's going to give Manny Pacquiao the edge. Manny Pacquiao come and throw punches. He don't give a shit whether it hits you on the shoulder, the chest, the neck, whatever. And that's because really that's what's known about AB. If you throw punches and you can stay on your feet, you'll probably win the fight. It'll be an entertaining fight, and I'm very interested and eager to see it. Very interested and eager to see it. So with that being said, what up, bossa? All right. This segment of life, I'm going to touch back on this whole R. Kelly situation. I'm not going to go into deep detail, but, I've heard some, reaction as far as what I was saying. And most people agreed as far as my stance, particularly when it came to the parents. And one thing I didn't bring up last episode was shout outs to that mother who went to LA and got her daughter. I really meant to say that. I mean, shout out, because she meant out of everything I said about the parents, I'm giving her a true shout out. Because this woman, when she first found out that her daughter was messing with R. Kelly, when she came back home, she called him from her daughter's phone, said he picked up. She said, remember my name, stay the fuck away from my daughter. And for whatever reason, hard-headed ass little girl gonna go back there. She was of legal age by that time, age of consent and all of that other stuff. And he pretty much turned her out, had her dressing like a dude. And she went to Los Angeles because she was going there to do the docuseries anyway, and she got her daughter. She found her daughter and got her daughter and took her daughter home. And she deserves major props for that. Because those other parents, they dropped the ball for the most part. They dropped the ball for the most part. And like I said, R. Kelly, man, dude, like I said, if he was sitting right in front of me, I would just say, what is wrong with you? What is your problem? Honestly, what is wrong with you? And then, I mean, you want to have a house full of women. You got to have a house full of legal women, a house full of women around your age. You could, I mean, even when you had girlfriends your age, I don't know, it's like R. Kelly had a serious case of being a narcissist. I mean, I remember watching the docuseries, and one of his girlfriends who was like in her 30s. No, I'm sorry. This is one of the young ones. And she said they were watching a Bulls versus Cavaliers game, and the girl said, "I'm a fan of I like the Cavaliers," and R. Kelly said, "No, we like the Bulls." And she said, "I'm a Cavaliers fan," and he said that he slapped her and didn't let her eat for 3 days. What? Jordan, no food. Jordan, no food. We like Jordan, no food. Forgive me. I'm sorry. But I mean, like, what the fuck? No food for 3 days because you don't like the same basketball team? Come on, dog. Come on, man. But let me set the record straight first. I don't condone a man hitting a woman at all. I think anybody who does that has straight bitch in their blood. So let me set that record straight first. So I just thought I would touch on that. I hope everybody definitely enjoys their Saturday. And, of course, if you're in Richmond, Virginia or in the vicinity, be careful of the snow that they say is coming. I don't see a damn snowflake yet. But anyway, it's your boy, Brandon Brevon Towns. Again, hit that subscribe button, leave your comments, and I'll be glad to discuss it with you. I have a couple of people who want to come in and want me to interview them. I would love to start doing interviews, and eventually one day this will be a live podcast. My boy Mac Chase wants to come in for an interview. I got my man Ray who wants to come in for an interview. My homeboy Eddie, to talk sports. In Mac Chase's case, he's a musician. We've collabed on a song before. But again, this is Sports Plus Life. This is the 20th episode of Sports Plus Life. It's your boy Brandon Brevon Towns. Everybody have a wonderful day, and I'm out. Peace.